What's up, my friends? So in this video, I'm going to talk about, is it worth it to actually go to China to find suppliers for your Amazon products? Or can you just stick with the online methods like Alibaba and all the other platforms? So without further ado, let's get into it. Let me first talk about China, my experience when I went to China, and whether it's worth it or not, the pros and cons, so I can hopefully prepare you and sort of give you an idea before you make that big investment. When I decided to actually go to China to try to find some suppliers and establish some long-term relationships, I didn't really know what to expect. I was pretty much flying blind. I just wanted to go because I thought it would be a great experience. I had heard a lot of great things, and I knew that this was my future. Like, I knew that I was going to be in e-commerce, Amazon, selling products online for hopefully the rest of my life. So I knew that actually going to China in person, establishing these real life, real relationships with people, not just online and typing on your keyboard, was going to be very advantageous to me for the short, medium, and long term. I had to plunk down the money for the plane ticket, the hotel, everything, and it's pretty pricey, as you would imagine. The question is, was it worth it, and what are the pros and cons? So number one would be, like I said, you establish real life, face-to-face interaction with these suppliers, and they really value that. The culture in China really values that face-to-face interaction, and more so than just a keyboard, some ghost shadow of a face, typing on their keyboard. It's good. You get to meet them in person, establish a relationship, maybe even go out and get some dinner while you're there with the people, and it just is nice. It's a good thing. So number two is, for some products you can get better prices, right? Because of that personal relationship. It not only that they're not only going to take care of you as far, from a customer service standpoint, they also have the potential to actually offer you a better, more favorable price than if they were to just get a random cold email from, over Alibaba from somebody. The number two pro of going to China is that it just simply is a good experience. You expose yourself to these different cultures. You see, you actually get to see firsthand how your products are being made. You can go to a factory. You can see what it's like for real. And let's just say this, you get some more appreciation for the actual just ridiculous amount of hard work that some of these people are putting in, for very little return on their end, and, providing great quality products for you. Oftentimes China gets a bad rap as far as, being the cheap supplier. Like, everything that comes from China automatically must be cheap and a piece of crap, right? That's kind of the common thought process of people, most of the people here in the USA. And that's just so false and far from the truth. The fact of the matter is that literally everything is made in China, whether it be good or bad quality. Your Apple iPhone is made in China, okay? It's designed, if you look on the back of it, right? It's designed in California, okay? My products are designed in Florida, made in China. Okay, get that out of your head now, and I'm sure that's not in your head. If you're actually watching this video, you're obviously involved in e-commerce in some way and maybe selling on Amazon. You obviously don't think like that, like the vast majority of people. Those are a couple of the pros about going to China, and into some of the cons. So con number one is that it's expensive, right? The plane ticket is expensive, the hotel's expensive if you want to stay in someplace decent, and the food, everything. If you're going to stay there for a week, if you want to actually include absolutely everything, it's going to cost you several $1,000s, no doubt about it. Number two is that you're going to need a translator, because not many of the people are not going to speak English at a adequate level for you to actually get, conversation and dialogue eloquated to one another in an efficient manner. You're going to need a translator, and here's the thing, you're not only going to need a translator while you're there, but you're going to need a translator when you actually get back to your house in the United States or Europe or wherever you're from, because how are you going to continue the conversation online or over the phone or Skype or whatever if the person can't speak English? You're going to need an actual translator when you get back, and you can hire one on Upwork or Fiverr or any place like that, but it's just another layer and another sort of inconvenience that you have to keep in mind. Con number three is that, from my experience, this is just my experience only, right? The prices for most of the products they weren't that much lower, if any. In some ways, I even found the prices to be more expensive than on Alibaba. From my experience, look, the prices were not significantly lower in relationship to Alibaba or any of the other platforms enough to justify me actually making that investment in time, both time and money, to actually go to China. My overall consensus of going to China or not going to China to find your supplier is that it's not worth it, simply because of the reasons I highlighted just now. Time and money are your two most important resources. Going to China is wasting both, in my opinion. You can oftentimes get better prices, or let's not say better, let's just say comparable prices to going to China as you can on like Alibaba, for example. You can bypass the translator. You can not have to leave the comfort of your own home. You can not have to spend a few $1,000s on plane tickets, food, hotel, and just the general inconvenience that goes along with traveling to a nation that's that far away. I know you probably hear so many conflicting opinions, is it worth it to go to China? Is it not? Is my time being spent wisely? And for me, my personal experience, no, it's not. Now I just want to leave you with my favorite online platforms where I go to find suppliers for my products. So number one, obviously, Alibaba, that you know. Alibaba's the giant. They're the top, and in my opinion, they're the best. They're what I use the most of the time. And I just like Alibaba. If you don't want to use Alibaba, that's totally fine. You can go to DHgate. It's a very comparable site. It's possible that they have different manufacturers on here than Alibaba. Now, you will notice some overlap, right? You'll notice that a lot of the same suppliers are on Alibaba, DHgate, and also on global sources right here. These are all pretty much the three biggest supplier directories for Chinese, mainly Chinese suppliers, and you'll notice that there's a lot of overlap on these platforms, but that's why I just choose to use Alibaba, because it's what I know the best. It's the most user-friendly, and they have things like trade assurance. They have things like they're constantly introducing these new features that are really, really advantageous to us buyers, because they are the biggest platform. They have the most money for innovation, and they are continually innovating. Other sort of creative options that you can use are things like IndiaMart, like you see here. So IndiaMart is basically the world's biggest online supplier directory for Indian suppliers. And advantages of this can be that, if you think the prices in China are low, the prices for Indian-made products are even lower the majority of the time, which is pretty crazy. I've never actually sourced from IndiaMart, full disclosure, so I don't know firsthand what it's like, but I know some people do. Some people like it for certain reasons. If you're interested, you can certainly look at it more yourself. The first few minutes of this video, going to China, not going to China, is it worth it? Well, what you see here is actually physical trade shows in the USA. So look, you can just simply go to Google, type in kitchen trade shows, or type in dog trade shows, whatever niche you're in, right? Travel products trade shows. And you'll get a bunch of results on Google that tell you the biggest trade shows. Look, LA Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. AHR Expo, over 1,800 leading manufacturers and innovative new suppliers attend the air conditioning, heating, refrigeration to showcase their latest products and systems. That's in Atlanta. So these are big, big trade shows that occur here in the USA, and a lot of times they'll actually attract some of the biggest Chinese manufacturers. They will actually make the trip from China over to the US and showcase their products to you there. So trade shows within the US are a great opportunity, especially if you live in one of the major cities that a lot of them occur in, such as Las Vegas, and anywhere in California. You can just see here, a lot of them, from my experience, do occur in Las Vegas. So you see 1 in Vegas, 2, 3 in Vegas, 4, there's Orlando. That's the PGA show. But yeah, California. So, if you live in Vegas or in California, then it definitely, if I did, I would certainly attend some of these trade shows, because it would just be a good experience. There's a high potential for you to actually see products there that are not listed on places like Alibaba, and it can be a unique sort of opportunity for you to be first to market on Amazon with a particular unique product. So there you have it, guys. That's my consensus. Is it worth it to go to China in the long run? Overall, for the best allocation of your capital, time, and money, no, I do not think it is. I think there are better options, both online and in person, right here in the USA, or whatever country you're in. You probably have trade shows in Europe as well. The link just below this video is a link to my free course that I just released on how to sell on Amazon, everything A to Z. And one of the best modules of this entire course is my supplier module, where I show you live in real time me talking to suppliers on Alibaba. I show you my exact conversations, how I negotiate, how I get prices, how I ask them for modifications for different products. Everything, guys, everything is included, and you even get my free supplier email templates within this free course. Tremendous amount of value. Go ahead and leave a comment below this video and tell me if you think that it's worth it to go to China. If you've been to China, let me know about your experience. If not, then ask me any question that you want the answer to. So I'll see you in the next video, guys. Have a good day.